Javante Campbell.
You guys got off to a little bit of a slow offensive start to begin the game, but you guys really picked up the rhythm, and then coming out of the second half with big offensive burst. What ended up gelling for you guys today on the offensive side of the ball?
Definitely sharing the ball, getting in the right places, making the right passes. But I think our defense is what started our offense.
Yeah, or I want to second that. Our defense is what started our offense.
What stood out to you guys about your defense and how you were able to limit Texas State, especially in the second half? Do you think there was an adjustment that you guys made at some point, and just really the strength of the defense today?
Definitely communication and physicality. We were pointing, we were yelling. That made the game easier for all five on the court.
You guys had 5 different players hit the double-digit scoring mark. What do you think that proves about your team, heading into the season with just the scoring-wise?
That we're willing to share the ball. We don't care what night it is. Whoever's hitting, that's who we're going to feed. And if it's 4 or 5 guys, then that's what it is. But, yeah, just sharing the ball.
IR, you had one heck of a night. I mean, you had a perfect shooting night from the field. How good did that feel just to get out there and really be one of the leaders for that second unit tonight?
Definitely great. And that's my role. Just come off the bench, do what I do. I'm gonna do that every night I can. But yeah, shout out to the guys. Shout out to Tay passing the ball. We moved the ball a lot. So.
Like we talked about, 40 points off the bench today. What does that mean just as a team to have that much of a dominant bench?
That they're ready to step up. When their name is called, it's go time. And that's for everybody on the bench.
And going into the season, Coach Simons talked a lot about rebounding this year. 37 rebounds, out rebounding Texas State. What does it mean just to have that kind of a dominant rebounding night?
We're gonna rebound. We're gonna be physical. We're gonna go up there and get it.
I mean, the defense today was just incredibly physical, through both halves. I mean, what is the mentality like for the defense? How would you describe just the defensive mentality that you guys bring on the court when you guys are playing like that?
I mean, that's how we practice every day. We beat each other up in practice every day. So to go out and do it to other people, it's honestly fun. So that's really it about that.
Sticking with the defense, 4 steals for you today. Troy Glover the second has 2 blocks down low. How have you seen the chemistry of this defense develop, where you guys now have multiple layers of defense for opponents to go through?
I feel like everyone they want to help the helper, so that makes the game very much easy. And I feel like we're a defensive team. That's what gets us started. So we got to play defense and score.
Question for both of you. Aiden Bruick, Falcon Media Sports Network. I mean, the offense was playing free-flowing tonight. It seemed like everything was clicking. What makes it for you guys so easy to see each other on the floor and make those opportunities for each other?
Just in practice, we practice hard every day. That's what we do every day. So in the game, almost the game is easier than practice. So everything, we see everything. Our guards see everything, the one-mores, and yeah.
First time on the court this season, but first time in front of the home fans. Talk about having this crowd behind you guys.
It was fun. It was electric. It was great. I hope they come out every home game.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Thank you.
Good. Coach, if you'd like to start with an opening statement, we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, fun opening night. I thought this group has been practicing, for an outing like this. And the 2 exhibitions I thought really played into this, where we, played some really hard competition, really physical teams. And we know what our calling card is, and I thought we were gritty for 40 minutes. I thought guys fought, competed, they were connected, the ball was free-flowing. I think the guys really just wanted to compete and win on every possession, and it was great. I mean, 11 times we got 3 stops in a row, 5 guys in double figures. We were plus 11 in the glass. He forced 18 turnovers. 7 guys with multiple defensive rebounds. So a lot of the things that we value, this group embodied, and it was fun to see it in action. And against a team, Texas State's very well coached. They do a really good job, and they're going to have a very good season. So I was proud of our guys' effort.
Open up for questions.
You mentioned the exhibitions. Second halves were a struggle for you against Michigan State Dayton. I think it was a 35-10 run to close the game. 43-19, you outscored Texas State in the second half. How good was that to see from your team? What did you see in the difference in this performance versus preseason?
Yeah, the preseason are kind of glorified practices in some ways. You know, I think we had 9 different players bring the ball up against Dayton because we needed to see it on film. We needed to see when we play a pressing team like Texas State, we need to see who we want to put in those positions, and we're going to run our script of stuff we want to run, and as opposed to in a real game where you're kind of you play and you see something that you can attack and you go after a little bit. So it's a little bit different in those exhibition games of a strategy, and but I think those played out perfectly because it exposed our flaws. And we worked on those things, and those things became our strengths tonight.
Meyerwohl, tremendous night. What did you see from him in his shooting and just how he affected the game out there on the court?
Yeah, I believe in Meyer completely. You know, we're very fortunate to have a lot of starters. All right, we have a lot of starters, and essentially he did. You know, Sam gets a couple quick, tough ones. You know, he just kind of got put in a bad position. It wasn't really malicious. He just kind of got put in 2 bad offensive fouls that were maybe not his fault. And Meyer just has to step in and gets 28 minutes and doesn't miss a shot. I mean, I think his coach probably needed to give him some more shots. If he goes 6 for 6 for 19 points, he probably should have gotten about 10 more. But that's who he is. I got all the faith in the world that he's going to perform at a high level this year.
Speaking of Sam only playing just under 2 minutes that first half, seemed like Glover stepped up in eating minutes during that time as well. What did you see from him in his debut with the Falcons down low with the 2 blocks?
Yeah, you know, Troy can be a defensive player of the year type guy. You know, there were so many times where, you know, he may only had 2 block shots and a steal on paper, but he goes and affects so many things, and he gets hand on rebounds and tip outs, and he's a physical presence, and he's hard to get around in ball screens, you know. So there are a lot of things that don't show up on paper of how valuable he is, and you know, 5 for 7, he did a great job, and you know, he's a fun player to coach as well.
I mean, that 3 by Josiah Shackelford, I mean, to end the first half, how major was that for you guys to, you know, cap off with that momentum heading into the second?
Yeah, huge. You know, you go in the half, and it's our ball to start the second half. You know, we're in a 2-for-1 situation to end the half. You know, we get a quick possession where we draw a foul and get to the line. We get a stop. We get another possession, and we get another possession to end the second half. So by the guys executing that, you get 3 out of 4 possessions, they get the ball. You know, and that's what draws that lead out. And we had talked about in the huddle, hey, if they come out in zone, right, which they had done on film, and we expected some of that. We had a play ready. We had a man play and a zone play, and Joe was in exactly the right spot. You know, Tay made exactly the perfect read, and he knocked down the shot. So that's the fun stuff of coaching, is when guys execute to perfection and it ends in good results.
And I mean, Sam Towns, he picked up those 2 personal fouls pretty early on in the first half. How did that change the game plan for you guys? Was there what adjustments did you need to make in that moment? You
know, Sam's such a phenomenal talker, you know, and leader and voice of the defense. In a sick way, I was interested to see, like, would guys step up without his dominant voice on the floor. But in terms of making any changes, I mean, I think Wool's spectacular. I think he's a good player, and so that's the beauty of this team, is there's a lot of different options. I mean, you have Meyer Wool and Javon Ruffin coming off the bench. I mean, that's you know, sometimes those guys are going to lead us in scoring a lot of nights, right? And, you know, Javon just came off 20 at Dayton, a little under the weather, and kind of threw him out there, and he did a great job, 13 on 6 shots. So you have that firepower is a luxury for us.
Coach, Aiden Brooke, Falcon Media Sports Network, you mentioned in your opening statement that the offense was free-flowing. How much of what we saw tonight was choreographed in practice versus what happened on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, they did a phenomenal job executing. There was very few times where we didn't get what we want. We're really working on playing with pace and space, and giving the first open guy the ball and sliding and moving and cutting. And they did a nice job staying on 2 feet and being able to hit the open guy. So it was fun to we had too many turnovers in that first half of in the first stretch, and we were keeping it on one side. And once we got back to what we worked on, the floodgates kind of opened.
Meyer Wool had a stellar game for you guys tonight, basically played minutes of a starter. Having him come be a sixth man for you after leading a second unit at his former college, what is it like for him to transition from that spot to here, picking up right where he left off?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that on any given night, depending on the lineups that we roll with, he might be in that first unit. We can do a lot of different things. We can play him at 3 positions for sure, and so I see a lot of versatility with our guys, but he's a seasoned player. Justin Thomas is seasoned. Ruffins, these are not guys necessarily that needed a chance and didn't get to play at their last school. All these guys kind of came in with a lot of mileage, which is a big difference maker.
I know you mentioned after Dayton that with Javon Ruffin's big performance, you guys need to do a better job of finding the guy with the hot hand, like the guy that really had all the momentum, getting him shots. Do you guys feel like you did a better job with getting that to Meyer tonight with his big game, or do you think like that's something you still need to work on a little bit?
No, I thought the ball breathed. The ball went where it needed to go, and they found him in transition. A couple times they crossed the highway. Guys got on 2 feet. Came out of timeout and said, "Hey, we're going to get him a shot here on the top of the key." And Jason Kimbrough does exactly that. I thought it was perfect. We didn't force it, but I thought they let the ball breathe and let it happen organically, which was great.
Score their first points for Bowling Green, Muhammad Maximud, and what name just Elijah Dem.
Yep,
I don't know
Elijah
why
Dem.
the name just escaped. With what Elijah went through, and Muhammad Maximud just kind of seems like a team chemistry gel player that was there all of last year on the bench with the excitement. How big and cool was it to see those guys get points at the end of the game?
I mean, they deserve it, and obviously Elijah's still a redshirt freshman, and Mo's paid his dues a little bit, but those guys can play a lot of places. This team is deep, but just to be able to get them going and get in the scorebook is great. I mean, the guys love them. I mean, they get us ready. They gave us tremendous looks. I mean, they're ready at all times, and I believe in both of them. I think they both can really play basketball. So it's good to see them get rewarded.
You never gave up the lead today after you took it. What does it mean to lead just end to end like that?
Yeah, and that was something we talked about. We can't have any lulls. This was going to be a 10-round fight of 4-minute segments, and we wanted to win all these segments. We want to win every round of this heavyweight fight, and every media timeout we wanted to win that 4-minute segment, and we found consistency, which was emphasis for us.
And then of the 5 players today in double figures, 4 of them were transfer players. What does it mean just to have transfer players make that quick of an impact to his team?
Yeah, I mean, it's about getting the right guys in the room. I said before the game to the team, we have the right guys, and now if we just make the right plays, then the right results are going to happen. But we have the right people, and we recruited a lot of basketball IQ, which speeds up the process when guys make the right plays for one another. And and I love coaching this group. This group is tight knit. They love each other, and they play for each other. They have an uncommon brotherhood. It's real, and it shows in how they play, which makes it easier for everybody.
And Coach, tonight 3,000 fans in the stands, almost 700 students in the student section. Talk about having that backing right off the gate.
Yeah, I mean, spectacular. I mean, if we can bottle this up and it's really our 6th man, and if we can get them to come enjoy this ride with us, we think we can do something special this year, and we'd love to keep everybody coming out and being a part of it, and this team is very lovable. You see them diving on the floor and getting every loose ball, and they scrap and they fight and they play above the rim and hit 3. They do a lot of exciting things. It's a great brand of basketball, and we're very appreciative for everyone spending their Monday night with us.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you all. Have a great evening.